I know it's kind of early. Okay, sorry. I know it's kind of early, but I really appreciate you guys being here. But yes, I do work for Brand Genius. I put together a little presentation for you guys. We'll talk a little bit about Brand Genius, what we do, um, the services that we offer, and a little bit of like strategies and stuff like that. So, I'm excited to go into that. Um, Wait, Carla, do I share my screen or?
Recording in progress.
How do we increase the size of a population?
Do you have access? I already granted you access. Let me know if you could share.
Okay, let me try again. Let's see. I'm so sorry. It's been a while since I used Zoom.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, there. Can y'all see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So yeah, so I'll go ahead and start off. Um, I'm Aylin Madrigal, of course. I'm the Chief Marketing Operations Officer here at Brand Genius. Um, Basically just a little bit about us, our story or background. So Brand Genius started off about 3 years ago. I was actually I was like 2 years, 2 years and a half. Um, this was actually right before I started my semester as a president um, at AMA. And so I kind of just wanted to backtrack. I know this is something that I talked about with Anna whenever she came over to do our little podcast. Um, so whenever I went into college my freshman year, um, I was really I was really excited about just really getting involved. I've always been super involved and I was always super involved in high school. So I thought, okay, what can I do to get involved here in college? So I went ahead and I was at Roundup and there was a few presentations about organizations, and shout out to Sam, I think he's on here. He gave a little presentation about like just being involved, getting yourself out there. And so I went ahead and took the first step and went ahead and contacted him, and I told him like, okay, what can I do to get involved and really just get my foot in, start getting to know people and all. And really my major was marketing. So I wanted to get involved in something more specific to marketing. And so he said, oh, well, there's an organization, American Marketing Association, you should get in, this and that. So immediately I started looking into like who to contact, where to go to all these meetings, and I would go to every single meeting. I was like one of the only freshmen there. Everybody else was already super involved. Um, and so that started off, and then eventually, I was able to get. I think I was in charge of like recruitment and membership. And then the year following that, and crazy thing, this was during COVID, so organizations was just super weird. Like things were on Zoom and you couldn't meet in person, but that you could. It was just super weird. Um, but eventually, I became president by last year, and as I became president, Sam then reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, I'm working on I have like a business project coming up. I'm working on a startup. I'd love to meet with you and talk about it." So we meet up for coffee. Turns out that was my interview, and so since then everything started up. It was at the beginning, it was just us, Sam and Josh and I, and videographer. And from there, we started growing the company little by little, to what it is now. And I've honestly learned a lot, um, especially when it comes to marketing. There's only so much that you can learn in school, and it's not until you actually start to apply it, that you really start to enhance your skills, and you learn more about marketing, the marketing industry. Um, so diving more into what we've built Brand Genius to be now today, right there you can see our little mission. So our mission is to just do be the leading marketing agency, not only in the Valley, but also throughout Texas, because we took upon the way that we do things. We basically just we try to do things differently from many other marketing agencies, or just how people do marketing essentially. We focus on a little bit more on content marketing, which is just the creation of videos. That is our main bread and butter. Eventually we also have like graphics and stuff like that, but our main focus is just videos. As we know today, TikTok, Reels, and all of that, that is the thing that governs social media. So so we do focus on that. So I'm gonna I'll talk a little bit about our brands. We service all types of industries. So this is something that I love about marketing, because going into marketing, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, or like what industry I wanted to go to. I always thought like, oh, I'll probably be in like corporate or something like that. Um, but thankfully, like with Brand Genius, I've been able to really dip my feet into every single little industry. We've done all kinds of things, like air conditioning, marketing for air conditioning services, going into the NBA, G League, some banks like Lone Star National Bank, um, all kinds of lawyers, realtors, um, supermarkets, all kinds of things. And so what I just love about it is that you can really just apply your creativity to all of these industries. And of course, as you do your research, you understand the industries, but as well, like your creativity can go so far to just market anything. So that's something that I really love about Brand Genius. So I'll go ahead and dive into a little bit of the strategies and things that I've learned as I've been here like all those years. Um, so let's see. Okay, so y'all did tell me to kind of just discuss a little bit about our branding strategies. So I went ahead and focused on just a few points on things that we really look into when developing a brand. So the first things first is really just humanizing your brand. So whenever we have a client come on, the most important thing is just making sure that that brand is it's not just a logo, it's not just graphics that you're putting up or informational videos. It's something that is well-rounded. So for example, whenever we have attorneys come on, lawyers, we need to make sure that they're coming across as a human, as the person that they are, because essentially they're servicing people, and they need people to trust them. They need people to trust their brand. So in order to humanize their brand, we make sure that their content is well-rounded. They have a well-rounded brand. That being creating content that is educational, that is entertaining, involves the community, and is all not only is of course promotional too, but also has testimonials and also some sort of motivation in there. By hitting all of those things, what at Brand Genius we call the 6 pillars of content, by hitting all of these things, you're able to humanize your brand, and basically just you create a brand that anybody can trust, because you're basically communicating value with everything. So by providing educational content, you're informing these people about your industry, about what you do, and about the services that you can bring forward. By having entertainment content, you're communicating that value by saying, hey, I'm taking time out of my life to create content that entertains you. So people kind of start to trust you by saying, oh, like they're proposing this, they're doing this to entertain me, like, literally like for 15 seconds or less. So I'm gonna go ahead and like relate to their brand, because I can understand they're trying to communicate with me on this level, on like a level of entertainment, not just like, oh, like I can provide services for you. Um, by being involved in the community, you show that you're not just trying to get your business, like you're trying to get your business out there, but you're not just trying to sell people. So you're giving back to the community because you care. So that's something that's really important that we push for all of our clients to get involved in the community, because I mean, essentially, it is traditional marketing too. You're getting yourself out there in events and stuff like that. So, and this goes as far as everybody, like even when you're developing your own personal brand, it's really important to just really put yourself out there, because as more people see your brand, as more people see you, there's going to start to make connections like, okay, man, I've been seeing them everywhere. Like they must be doing something good. So that's something that's really important. So moving forward to the next point here, diversifying your content. It's really like I said, being able to hit all of those pillars, but also just making sure that you're changing it up. Things are always changing, especially within marketing. Just making sure that you're up to date and you're not just putting the same thing out there. People say, okay, you have to be consistent. And people take that as you have to just post the same thing over and over again. But no, that is not the thing. That is not the case. A lot of people tend to do like, oh, motivational Mondays. And every single Monday they're posting like motivational quotes. And yes, it's good to have that structure, but not just overloading with the same thing, because people are going to get used to it and they're basically just going to scroll through. So they'll be going down the feed and say, oh, what another motivation Monday. They won't even read it. So just make sure that you're always diversifying your content, and pretty much just coming up with new things as you go. The next one is communicating value. So I'm sure this is the very first thing you learn whenever you take like intro to marketing, that marketing is basically the meaning of marketing is communicating value or an exchange in value between the business and the consumer. So this is something super important is what can your business bring to the consumer, to the audience that is beyond your services. So really just being able to communicate more than that, that is something that's super important. And lastly, being able to keep consistency and creativity. So basically back to what I mentioned, just as long as you're posting often, like literally don't just post one day out of the month and then the next month you're posting again. That's not going to get you anywhere. Because if you really want to establish your brand, you really just have to make sure that you're consistently putting stuff out there. Like I said, not the same thing, just changing it up, but putting something out there that's relative to your brand. So I'm gonna go to the next slide. Okay, so Anna did tell me to, if I could just share some tips or some trends that are going out there when creating your content and basically just keeping your audience engaged. These are a few things that I've picked from conferences that I've gone to, from experience here at Brand Geniuz. And basically these are some key points if you're trying to grow your own brand, if you're trying to grow a business that you're working for. I basically just picked these out. So the first one is creating shareable content. One of the most important things that I've noticed and that I've learned when it comes to creating content and really just engaging the audience within social media is you want to create content that is shareable. And what this means is whenever you go on Instagram, for example, you need to create content that entices people to click on that little airplane arrow thing. I don't know exactly what it's called, like the shares. Because that in social media, that is one of the hardest things to do, to make people want to share that to either their stories, through DM, or getting that post onto other eyes. So that's one of the most important things that's going to get you the most engagement, but it's also one of the hardest. So being able to do that and also getting saves, I would say, honestly, those are some of the most important things that I would probably even put them above like getting likes, above getting comments, above getting views. If you're able to get shares, you're able to get more views. So that's something to keep in mind. What is considered shareable content? So shareable content is really creating memes, things that people can relate to. So that can be done like in graphics, that can also be done on videos, creating videos like I'm sure you guys have seen the reels that say like when you do this and that, or POV, you do this and that. That's the shareable content because people can relate to it and they say, oh, like they'll look at it, have a little laugh, and share it with their friends. So then that's gonna just keep on. It creates like a little domino effect that you send it over to one friend, that one sends it over to another. So you start getting more eyes on it. So that's a little tip. Another thing is also like infographics, kind of like the carousels that you guys see on social media. Those are also shareable content because people see the value in the information that you're sharing. So they tend to share it to their stories or share it with others. Another piece that I've also seen works a lot, especially within Reels, is when they say like, for example, for one of our restaurant, for one of the not a restaurant, it was a supermarket that we were marketing for. We did it was a video of a paleta, like one of their products, and we said send this to your third at, and literally that immediately just gets people sending things because I don't know, they just feel the need to send it after you tell them to send it. So that's something that I've seen that does work a lot with content. So I highly recommend doing that whenever you're creating it. Next thing is always whenever you're developing content, creating that, always keep in mind the little things, little tips, little tricks that you can do to make the content go viral. So something that's really important when creating content is just making sure that you can keep the attention of your audience. I know that this has been changing a lot by the years. It went from 15 seconds to 10 seconds to now 5 or even 3, even 1 second. Making sure that whenever you're creating that content, within the first 1 to 3 seconds, you captivate them with something. So for example, something that we did with one of our clients is it was one of the attorneys that we service. He was doing like a little informational video, but we went ahead and within the first split second, we included a video. He's a personal injury attorney. We included a video of a lady falling down. Within that first second, it was just it probably even lasted like 2 to 3 seconds of that lady falling down. That kick-started the video. Literally within a few hours, it was already at like 10K. So it's really just being able to sprinkle in those little things that can really just spark people's interest. Because, for example, within that video, people are watching it and they see that for like 2 seconds and they say like, okay, what was that? So then they'll go ahead and watch it again and watch it again and watch it again until they really process what they saw. So pretty much just learning what it is that can help you grasp people's attentions. So like I'm sure you all have always heard within marketing that you need to make sure that you include a hook or an attention grabber. So there's always like, if you start off with something negative, people are always going to be even more enticed to watch it because it's like, oh, what is it? So really just including those little things that can keep the audience's attention. Next thing is I put here start or join. So pretty much what I mean by that is whenever there's events going on, literally like even like award event, or how do I explain those events that are out there like MTV Awards or like the Grammys or stuff like that. Always keep an eye out for events or like events that are within pop culture, because that is the perfect opportunity for you to pick out and create content out of, because these are events or things that are going on within the world that everybody has their eyes on. So immediately they're going to relate to whatever that you put out, anything that you put out. So things like the Super Bowl, keeping an eye out for like kind of any situation that were to happen, that you can just take a piece of content, make it a meme or create a video that is relative to that, that it will immediately kickstart your engagement. However, what I mean by start is just making sure that you start it before anybody else does. So if you're able to hop on the trend before it becomes a trend, that is literally the most perfect thing you can do because you're going to get more eyes on it. So just making sure that you keep an eye out for those seasons, those holidays. For example, something that we did for one of the products that we're marketing, we went ahead and started on the 1st of October. We went out and created content as like little ghosts, and we hopped on that trend, and now we've been seeing other businesses do it. So it's really rewarding whenever you start off on a trend, and eventually you see a lot of other business doing so. So yeah, so it's really important to just get started on it as soon as possible, or if you see it already trending, get on it as soon as possible as well. You don't have to be the first one, but pretty much just like, for example, I'm sure you all saw that Barbie trend where it was like, I am such Barbie or this and that. Really important to just keep yourself involved with things that are going on in social media. You don't want to be behind. If you hop on a trend a little bit later, it's kind of gonna be like, okay, well, where were you? This was 2 months ago. So just always keep in touch with all of these trends. So next, I did want to discuss a few case studies or things that we've done here at Brand Genius with our clients. So within Brand Genius, every time a client starts, we develop a goal. That being whether they want lead generation, whether they want brand awareness. Oh, it says, sorry guys, but it says time left on the top.
Yes.
It's
There's
gonna,
gonna be a time limit till 10 minutes. I don't know if you want to keep this slide going or we can end the meeting and then we rejoin to the same link and start off here. So it doesn't like break midpoint.
I guess we can rejoin just so it's not like,
Like out of yeah.
yeah, out of nowhere. Yeah.
Yeah, okay, let's if y'all can just kindly leave the meeting and then click again through the same link and we will start off with the case studies. Thank you.